farm. We are on Alma, Missouri, and this is the Big Country Series. This is the Big Country Series live, and yeah, we did take out $1 million loan, so we got a lot of work to do now on the farm. And in this episode, we're gonna start working towards that. And there's the dairy cows, just out in the pasture, doing what they do. And that is just grazing, getting a little bit of grub in here in the morning. So we are going to be hopping in the truck. We're going to be grabbing the tanker. And yeah, first things first, we are going to be getting into town here in just a second. But yeah, last episode we did take out that $1 million loan. And yeah, so far we did pay a little bit back. I think we paid $10,000 back. But if you see up at the top, we are back up over $200,000. So we are making progress. So what happened after that last episode was I did sell off the remainder of the corn. As we'll go out back here to the silos. Yeah, I did sell off the remainder of the corn. We made a pretty decent profit. Not what we were originally hoping to, unfortunately. But yeah, so the silo is totally empty. And we did make some decent money. So now we're going to be selling off the milk. We got about 38,000 liters in here. So let's hop in the Phoenix and get it fired up here. Yeah, the first thing I want to do is we want to sell off some milk because we do want to chip into that loan in this episode. Turn off the Jake brake. No reason to have that on while we're in the yard. We get turned around here. All right. Tough navigating into the barn here. We're going to try to get this lined up in first person. And yeah, okay. So it's giving us to start filling. We got that icon, but let's get out of the truck. And let's go back here and hook up the hoses. We're just going to imagine I'm grabbing one of these hoses right now. And where would we hook that into? That's a good question. I would think somewhere there's a fill on this trailer. I've done this before. I assure you guys, there should be some opening where you would hook in, probably underneath. Yeah. Alright. Well, let's start filling. We're going to pretend I did hook that up. And let's see. Yeah, we got 38,000 liters of milk. We're not going to be able to fit that all in the trailer. And now that got me wondering, where would you actually hook up on this trailer? Probably walked right by it. There should be a valve somewhere. As we are totally filled up. I wonder if they just didn't include one. I mean, realistically, would you top load it? Is that what's going on? Would this be actually filled from the top? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up there. Yeah, I guess I would imagine maybe the tanker would be filled from the top. I'm not entirely sure, but we do have a full load. We got 32,000 liters, and before we head out, let's take a look at the price of milk. Let's get into the milk. That should be in miscellaneous. Have to scroll down here pretty far. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So the best price right now is at the dairy, $1,184. Let's mark that, even though I know where the dairy is, but let's mark it anyways. And there's the dairy cows. We got the calves right over there in that barn. They are resting pretty well. They settled in overnight because technically we really didn't move forward. We're still in December 1st. Coming off of that last video, we did move forward to sell the corn, but when the video ended, we were in December. So we'll pull up here. Alright. And let's get into town here. Yeah, so this is the first step, other than selling the corn, towards paying back the $1 million loan. We currently owe $990. $990. No, $990,000. It took me a couple times. And yeah, I wanted to wait until we did another episode so I can kind of pay it off. I didn't want to pay it off camera, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do that a couple times, because between now and March, I'm probably gonna have to skip a few months. I did want to get this one episode in before we skip forward. And I have a little bit of surprise for that, actually. We are going to be adding a new crop to the farm. We are going to be doing potatoes. Let's stop here at the stop sign. Jake brake failed me. Alright, let's back up. Yeah, let's look at these fields quick. So, I'm thinking the potato fields, since potatoes are, it does take a lot to harvest them. I think we could do potatoes in like field 14, 13, and 6. We don't have to do all the fields, but I think that would be the fields to do potatoes in. So that's just an idea right now, so we are going to have to end up probably either leasing or buying some equipment for potatoes. Yeah, we had a Jake brake. It did not come on there. It was... These big trucks, when you get a load, they are like a freight train. We're just gonna go right up here. I know I should turn the Jake off in town, but yeah, I love the sound effects of that, so we are gonna let it on. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we are selling the milk off right now. Let's see what we get out of 32,000 liters. Should get close to $40,000. As we're halfway through it right now. Yeah, I think around 40,000 we'll get for this. I am a little bit disappointed in the visuals here. You think there'd be a little bit more for dumping off the dairy milk other than just out here in the gravel. I guess we're going to have to imagine that we hooked up to some kind of underground, maybe tanker or something like that, or container. Alright, 37,896. We'll take it. That is going to go towards the loan. We don't want to bankrupt ourselves, so yeah, when we're paying back this loan, we don't want to always take all the money in the account at one time and just start throwing it. Because like I said, I do need to get some, we're going to need some equipment for potatoes. So I've been starting to map out the fields a little bit, how I want to plant the crops coming up here in the spring. And yeah, them fields I just mentioned, at least 2 of them, we'll see the actual size when we get a little bit closer. And then make a decision, because yeah, I want to do some potato harvesting, but at the same time we're probably going to end up using the harvester that is a pull behind harvester for the John Deere 8400. We're not going to get the big boy harvester that you actually sit in and drive. That would be a little bit overkill. The price of them they're really expensive. So yeah, it wouldn't make sense when we're trying to pay back a loan, but I think the one we can afford, and probably a planter for the potatoes, just to give us something a little extra, a little something different here on the farm, because yeah, we've been harvesting everything right now with the combine, or doing the hay. There is a little bit of milk back in the barn yet, but I think it's only about 8,000 liters, so we're not gonna waste a trip back into town. I think what we can do is we can go over and look at them fields. Let's park the truck. We're gonna take a ride over, look at these fields, and then when we get back, we are gonna have to feed the cows. The cows are out of food right now in the main barn. They're living off the straw in there. Starting to eat their straw bedding. They're down to the straw bedding. Let's park the truck here. Yeah, we're gonna take a ride out to them fields quick. Alright, yeah, we're gonna get over that way. Let's head through here and see how the horses are doing. get in the corral here once. How you doing there, buddy? Where are they? Alright. I believe this is Rocky. That should be Rusty. Let's see if I'm right. It doesn't show. Yeah, that is Rocky. How you doing, buddy? 100% cleanliness. Yeah, I did brush you up there. Let's give you a little brushing anyways. Get that coat nice and shiny. Got a little dirt spot there. Alright. Oh, put that chainsaw away. That's unnecessary. Go over here and see. That is Rusty. How you doing, buddy? And let me saddle you up. Alright, we're going to take a ride over to the field here on Rusty. Get him some work in. Easy, boy. Alright, let me close up the corral. That is one thing. When you dismount the horse when it's not in a stable, the saddle does disappear. I think they could probably change that. But, yeah, because you do got the saddle on there. Alright, let's take a ride down here. The fields are right down below the hay field and the wheat field. And we're just gonna take a little gallop here through the hay field. That's not gonna hurt anything. And yeah, that field over there, right across the stream, we bought that. That is a hay field currently, but I don't think we need another hay field. Let's go down to the creek here. I don't think we need another hay field currently. Slow down, Rusty. Yeah, we don't need an accident there. Yeah, we are out like the Wild West right now. So yeah, we got this field here we just bought. And yeah, this is barley. Alright, this is a barley field, so that's... I don't know if we'll keep this or we'll plow it under. I mean, yeah, we could wait to harvest this, but I don't think we're going to do that. We're probably going to end up plowing this field under. And like I said, yeah, we don't need another hay field. We got plenty of hay right now. So yeah, we did buy some of these fields with crops in it. So here's one field. And let's get in the field and then zoom back a little bit. Yeah, so this is a decent sized field, but it's not a massive field. So this is potentially maybe a potato field. Could be, maybe a soybean. Let's head down through the woods here if we can. Get down in here. And this is the other field that we just bought, which, yeah, this is probably close to the same size field. Again, this is good potential here for a potato field. Not overwhelming. With the follow-along harvester, I think we could probably do a good job. And let's hop off Rusty here once. Yeah, so this is 100% fertilized, but there's nothing planted. It's plowed, it's ready to go, so yeah, I think we're gonna definitely use this field for potatoes. Giddy up there, Rusty. Let's get up to this other field, because yeah, we gotta get back to the cows. Gotta get back to the cows. We gotta get them fed here this morning. This other field is right up here. Down through the dry creek bed, a little bit of muck down in there. And so this field here, we bought, this is withered. This was actually sunflowers. This was sunflower seed. Well, sunflowers. And yeah, this is perfect for a potato field. Like I said, we don't have a lot of equipment. Actually, we have nothing right at this moment. So we just want to kind of do it to mix things up. And yeah, I think that would be a pretty good idea here for the series. So yeah, this field for sure is going to be a potato field. Let me hop off Rusty here and take a look at these sunflowers. Looks like he's gnawing on one there. Probably still good. Alright. Yeah, so I think that field there, definitely potato field. And probably the one to the left of me, potato field. I think two of them will be fine, because with that follow behind harvester. That is a process. That would actually probably, these two fields would definitely make it all worth it. So, yeah, let's keep that in mind there. And let's get back up to the farm. Come on, Rusty, giddy up. Let's get back up there. There is the wheat we actually planted. That field was planted, so yeah, that's one of our wheat fields. That's a 60-acre big boy field, and right there to the left of us, that's the other wheat field. So the wheat's planted for the winter, and that will be ready to go next summer. There is a cornfield we harvested. As we'll be doing some tillage on that. I don't think we'll be doing any fall tillage, because you know what? This is not going to be a cornfield next season. I think we're going to switch this, and I think these two cornfields that I currently have, I think they're going to be soybean. Got to rotate your crops, right? Right, Rusty? Got to rotate the crops. Get a good look at them galloping here. Getting them out here for a little run. And we're going to get them back in the corral here. I could have jumped the fence, but that would have been a little ridiculous. Going to try to keep it realistic. Easy, boy. Settle down now. Alright. Open that back up and get them back in the corral. He is going to need cleaned again, but the one thing that is a little off about this, and you're going to see it in a second, once you get inside the fence and you dismount the horse, instead of him staying right beside you, Rusty's probably going to teleport out there somewhere, so let's take a look. And there, yeah, he's way over there now, so. Alright, Rusty, we'll, actually, you know what? Let's go get him really quick. Let's get you cleaned up. And then we're going to close up the corral here. So, yeah, this actually, you actually do need to do this. Keeps the cleanliness there. We're at 50% right now. And it does visually actually clean the horse, so. Alright, yeah, you're good to go. That's ridiculous that it pulls out the chainsaw like that. Let's close it up. We got to get back over to the cows. And yeah, we need to get the cows fed. And then we want to check on the calves also. But before we do that, let's go in. So we got $259,000. Let's go in and pay some of this loan back. Let's do it. If you're just joining us for the first time also, we are on the road to 100 subscribers. We have a small channel. We're just trying to have fun here. Let's get into the finances. But yeah, definitely appreciate if you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate you joining the farm if you do happen to end up subscribing to the channel. So yeah, once again, I do appreciate everybody watching the videos. Let's go into the loan here. So let's go all the way down. All right, yeah. So yeah, we're at 990,000. We got 259,000 currently. I think we could afford to bring this balance down to 200 right now. So let's repay until we get down to that. Repay until we get down to 200. Okay, we just went a little too far. Let's go make it an even 189. Even though that's not even. So yeah, we're down to 920,000 now. So we did pay the loan back a little bit there. And still leaves us with a decent amount of cash. Because like I said, we are going to need to invest in a few pieces of equipment for the new potato project. Alright. We got the John Deere. Let's get this positioned here. Turn on the mixer. Yeah, let's get this positioned as we're going to make some TMR right now for the cows. The new calves are fed. They are doing well over there. We will go check on them. But yeah, as far as food, they're actually, the amount of TMR I gave them is going to be a little too much. So let's get it on the International 1206. And get into the barn here and bring down a few hay bales. A couple straw bales, because we're going to make that TMR now. I can get into the barn here without getting the forks caught up. we do have the storage barn here, which has worked very nicely. And yeah, I didn't notice that before. It actually keeps a section down here that actually looks like straw bales. Before they all looked like hay. I must have missed that. So yeah, it does actually give you a little bit of diversity up there. It makes it look like you do have both, which we do. So let's get some straw bales down here. Hay bales first. Where am I? Hay bales. Hay bales. Let's get 3 of these. And then, where was that other hay bale? I seen another hay bale. Yeah, that one. We're going to need that one. That's 3,700 liters. Alright. Let's get these loaded into the mixer. Again, I do hope you guys enjoy the live streams. I know when I first started this channel, I have changed the format a little bit. I do make some YouTube shorts, which I've actually had trouble making recently. For some reason, YouTube will not let me, because the way I make my shorts... Well, actually, before I get into that, let's finish what I was talking about, the format. Originally, I was making videos and editing them, and I just don't have enough time to do that, unfortunately, so... The live streams have been really nice. It allows me to play the game more and just to get more videos out. So I thought I had that bale off of there. There we go. And yeah, with the YouTube shorts, so the way I make the YouTube shorts is I will normally do a video like this, and then what I do is I'll go in and I'll just take clips from it. But for some reason I do the YouTube shorts on my phone. And recently, it doesn't let me save the videos. If you go in on YouTube on like an iPhone, for example, you'll be able to, if it's your own video, I don't know about other people's videos, you probably have to pay to download them. But if you have your own channel, you can go in, you can select your video, and you'll be able to save the video to device. And then I'll take that video once it downloads and I'll put it in an editor. And I'll break it down and I'll make my short that way, but the last couple videos, it's given me like an unknown error. I really don't know why it's doing that. But yeah, that is why I've not made any shorts out of the last couple videos, because I've been unable to save them to my phone. Now, I can go in through the computer. I noticed the computer does allow me to do that, and I might do it in the future. It's so much more convenient for me to do it on my phone. I've actually had to kind of relearn everything doing it on the computer, so it's been a slow process. But yeah, that is what has happened there. A lot of obstacles. I've found there is a lot of obstacles when you get into this, especially when you're on PlayStation. If I played strictly on computer, I'd probably have a lot easier time doing things, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm learning more doing it this way. So yeah, maybe it ain't so bad. As we're just getting this mixed ration all together here. The last hay bale, then we'll grab a straw bale, and then we're gonna head over to the silage pit. Felt good to pay a little bit of that loan back, kind of chipping away at it. I mean, we paid about, what was it, 60,000, 50,000 there. It's not too bad. Yeah, the milk production is going to be the key to that early on until we get into this next season and start seeing a payoff from all the crops that we're going to plant. It's what keeps the dairy farm going, is the dairy cows. Alright, I'm going to pull down a straw bale now. The cows over there, they are pretty good on straw right now, so yeah, we're probably not going to do straw bedding this time, even though they are going to need it, but yeah, they're fine right now with the straw bedding. Well, let's get a straw bale down for this TMR. Straw square bale, one of them. Yeah, I actually agree with that. That's a good point about the live streams. You can definitely interact as we're playing. And that's something I've really enjoyed about the live streams is usually on the videos that I edited, I never got any comments, so one or two here on the live stream is pretty nice. I appreciate anybody that shows up on the live stream. The one thing that is lacking on PlayStation is when somebody enters the live stream. For example, right now I can see 2 people are watching, but it does not show who enters, which is a shame because whoever just showed up, thank you for showing up on the stream. If I knew you by name, or if you left something in the comments, I'd definitely give you a shout out. But yeah, until then, I don't know who's in the stream. If I probably had my computer beside me, I might be able to figure that out. But I am playing, so yeah, I'd kind of get sidetracked. It's just one of the problems with not playing on a PC is you just don't have the kind of the capabilities at your fingertips like you do on PC. So I definitely see that you guys are there. I know there's 2 people watching right now, which ain't much, but you know what? It's better than 0, and that's why I do this. Definitely for the... Oh, not this again. That happened again. That is the 2nd episode in a row that did that. I don't know why it keeps doing that, though. Like, why is it... Can I not... Oh, that... We're gonna have to try to fix that this time. I really don't want to run into town. Or maybe we'll have to. Maybe we'll have to. I don't know why it did that again. Reset, yep. Alright, we're gonna have to send the worker back into town again. In the meantime, though, we are gonna go over and take a look at the calves. So we are gonna have something to do. Go over and hang out with the horses a little bit. But yeah, that, I don't know why it did that again. Now, I did hit the button to detach that by accident. I think I did. But why it's detaching like that is really unknown to me. It has the stands on it. So maybe we'll just take a ride into town and do it ourselves here. Get a little time on the International 1206. Maybe we'll send the worker back once we get attached there. Yeah, that gives us a little bit of time. There's one of our new fields. That is a huge field. And this is part of it, actually. This is the last little section. So you can see with the tree line and stuff, you can break this huge field up. If you look down in the left-hand corner, it is field 5. So you can really, this field is going to be absolutely crazy to end up harvesting whatever we put in there. It's probably going to be a cornfield. Since it's one of our new fields and we are switching the cornfield to soybean, that may be a cornfield. But also, the way it's laid out, you could break that up into 3 different fields. So I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. I'm undecided. That could be a couple different crops in that field. The only issue with that is when you go to harvest, that could be a little tricky if you ever put a worker on the combine or whatever harvester you may be using in there, that with the crops running together, I don't know how they're going to react to that. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we are heading into town. We had to reset the bucket. I don't know why it did that, but I accidentally took off the loader and it fell backwards. I couldn't get it set back up again, so we are making a trip into town. And so far, just to let you guys know, we have sold off some milk, sold off some of the dairy milk. Yeah, is that actually, do you see that as an online, is that a known issue that's going on right now? That might have been with the last update. I wonder if that had something to do with it, because I've never had that happen until last episode. Now it's twice. So yeah, if that's a known issue, that'd definitely be nice to know. What happened was, with the bucket attachment, the whole frame that goes onto the tractor, I accidentally detached it, and what happened was it didn't sit straight. It fell backwards to where I couldn't pick it up anymore, so we had to reset it, so have to go all the way back into town. Yeah, it would just be one of the loader attachments, basically, if you're looking online for it, but I'm gonna have to stop. I know I probably had it selected there to do that, so detaching it was my fault, but yeah, whatever happens with that animation, that is some kind of problem. Just throws a minor delay in things. There's another farm here in Alma, up the road from us. Looks like they got some cattle out there. Little cattle farm. As I did say in a previous episode, it'd be really nice if you reset equipment, it'd be nice to be able to do it directly onto your farm, because driving into town like this is just a little bit of an inconvenience when you're doing a live stream. So yeah, I do apologize for that, but we got to get this set up. Get that silage loaded in. Yeah, it's got to be some sort of bug. Definitely something that's just happened recently too. I never, of all my hours that I've put into this, I haven't had that happen, and I'm always using these loaders, so that's something that definitely came up recently. Not a big deal though, we got it figured out. You bear with me, we're just going through the town now in Missouri right now. We are heading back to the farm. And we are on the road to 100 subscribers. As I mentioned before, I appreciate everybody that stops by to watch these videos. I really do. Taking a little time out of your day with all the stuff online these days, if you somehow venture across this video and stay here for a few moments, that's pretty impressive, because there's a lot of content out there these days. Right, back on the dirt road. There is that farm there. That's a pretty decent setup of a farm. I could have made a farm in that area too, but yeah, I did like the one back here, a little more secluded, a little more out of the way of the town, but I do like how they have the hay bales kind of there. It's a nice addition. We no longer using round bales, we're using square bales, and yeah, the straw bales like that sitting outside looks pretty cool. They don't have them wrapped for silage or anything like that, so just have them out in the elements. It would be nice though, I love this tractor, it's just a little underpowered, so I can use it for some things, but yeah, I'd really like a bigger, actually there is an international tractor in this game that I would like to have, but given our current state of money and what we're trying to do, it would be unnecessary, but I don't think it's all that expensive. When we get back to the farm, I'm actually going to go in the menu, we can take a look at it. Maybe you guys can let me know what you think. Maybe we could, depending on the horsepower of it, maybe we could get that tractor and maybe some of the potato equipment. Maybe that could kind of be on duty for the potato assignment that we're going to have. Have a tractor dedicated to it. Can always lease some of that stuff when the time comes, but we are making pretty decent money, and yeah, it's not always going to be necessary to pay back $60,000 a month towards the loan, but I figured while we had it right now, it wasn't a bad idea. So yeah, it doesn't mean we can't still buy some things. We could still have some nice things on the farm. But yeah, you just kind of got to be realistic about it. I do like that we expanded that. It's going to make a huge difference in the upcoming season with all the jobs we're going to have to do in the fields. It's going to be a lot of work. But yeah, it's going to be fun. going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot more fields to kind of play around with and do some planting and do some harvesting. That big field is right across from us. Yeah, that's huge. I actually have to take a drive through that in one of these episodes coming up to go over and really get a look at it. You can see it on the mini-map. You can kind of see down there the shape of the... It is, I mean, you can see how wide the field is. The field is the width, like the length of that field is the width of our entire farm, so... including all our fields, so that's, yeah, it's a big field. Now, hopefully I gotta be really careful here, because if we detach this again, we're gonna have to abandon feeding the cows in this episode. So yeah, I gotta make sure I don't do that again. So it's saying attach. Alright. This is just the everyday life of a dairy farmer. I don't try to do this in every episode, but yeah, feeding the cows on a dairy farm, this is a daily occurrence, so... I know we try to mix it up and do a little bit of different stuff here and there, but yeah. When you got a dairy farm, feeding the cows and taking care of the cows, that is really the core of the farm, so... I hope it does keep you guys interested. We're going to be doing it a lot. I said sometimes I do feed the cows off screen. But yeah, this episode here, there's not much going on in the wintertime, so... I wanted to get a few episodes in with the calves and all that, so... because they're not going to be over in that barn forever. They are going to be getting back into the big barn. I was actually thinking... Yeah, absolutely. The cows are what drives this farm. I was actually thinking what I could have did was... See, I don't know. It would have been tough. I did sell them cows off to make room for the calves, but I think I probably could have worked that. Here's what I was actually thinking. This is what I was thinking is I should have pulled the cows out of the big barn, put them in the calf barn, allowed the calves to be born, move the big cows into the pasture over here to the left, then move the calves into that barn, and then, if you're following me, then move the cows from the pasture back into the big barn. So in the meantime, they could have made money, if you kind of get what I'm saying. They could have made money until the calves are of age to produce, because them calves are not going to be producing milk until they're 18 months old. So we are a long way off of that happening. So I could have kind of just kept them over there, and then the idea would have been once they're ready to produce milk, I could have then sold off the calves in the big barn, or the cows in the big barn, made a profit from them, and then brought the new cows right in to take their place with kind of really never missing a beat. And yeah, I didn't do that, so thought about that after the fact, and I'm like, probably would have helped, because right now the main dairy barn, we're not at full capacity anymore. I think we only have 147 dairy cows in there instead of 162, so we're definitely losing some dairy production. Now, what I could do to make up for that right now is I could buy some cows to go back into that barn, but that'd be kind of counterproductive too. Spend money to buy them cows again. Still looks like we're making a pretty good profit out of the cow barn, so out of the dairy barn. So I'll just have to keep that in mind for the future when I do something like that. Let's see how much is in here right now. We're going to need about 6 or 7 more scoops. Does get a little repetitive, but I do enjoy it personally. I just hope you guys enjoy it to watch the episode. definitely run like a simulation of a real dairy farm. It's a pretty good setup. Get a little crazy with the camera there. Just a little Sunday morning live stream here, as we're currently using the John Deere 8400 hooked up to the Silo King. And the International 1206 with the front loader on it. So I did end up making 5 trips with the corn. If I didn't mention that, I know I mentioned that I sold it off, but it did take 5 trips, almost 5 full trips. The last one I made had about 31,000 liters of the 51,000 on the truck. So yeah, it wasn't a wasted trip. All in all, that was a good corn harvest considering I never fertilized the corn. We made a pretty decent amount of money off of that. 5 trips. So the 4 trips was 200,000 liters. We had about, what, 230,000 liters of corn, and we made... I'm not sure the total we made. Let's actually... Probably not going to be able to see this now. It's probably going to show the milk. Let's see if it shows this in the statistics. Finances, okay. So I think that was in December. So sold milk. Alright, what's this? Harvest income. There it is. Perfect. Yeah, so off the corn we made $157,638. And then with that milk we just delivered, $37,896. So yeah, it's almost $200,000 of income this month. Not bad at all. I'm glad it actually saved that in the game and shows that. I just wasn't sure if it'd keep the harvest income separate from the milk. Yeah, so you know what you made there. That's pretty decent. I know there's a lot of complaints about the game here and there online. I see a lot of crazy stuff. And don't get me wrong, I have things that kind of bug me about it once in a while. But all in all, for a simulator, I mean, it's one of the best simulator games I've ever played. I don't claim to have played a lot, but you basically have all the options that you could really want. I mean, yeah, there's always something. There's always going to be something missing. But yeah, there's bugs in the game and this and that, just like you had earlier with that front loader. But yeah, all in all, for a farming game, you're not gonna be hard pressed to find something close to this. As we'll get this scoop in here, we're really close to getting this fully topped off. Let's see how much we got left here. One more scoop's gonna do it, and we're gonna give it to them. We're gonna give them it all. Yeah, they are completely empty on TMR. And yeah, this one full load will not fill up. It won't fully fill up the cow barn. It's gonna take about 1.5 loads, but we're just gonna do the one for now. And then we're gonna go over and check on the calves. See how they're doing. Maybe we'll go over and move a few calves out into the pasture. I think I have that leash mod. Or do I? Or don't I? I don't think I... Did I ever purchase that? Let's go in and check that, because if we do, I want to try that. I want to try to leash to put them over into the pasture. Let's see if I have that, or if I don't. Alright, let's go in here. Hand tools. Horse brush, Husqvarna. Let's go in here. Let's go down to hand tools. Hand tools, animals. I don't have. Where is that? I thought I had the leash, because I had. That is strange because I had it when I was playing on Riverbend Springs. Is that something? An animal there it is. It's an animal transport, so 20 bucks. Let's buy that. You can fetch your purchase at the shop. Are you kidding me? Why would that not be in hand tools? Oh, that is absolutely crazy. Okay, well, that's in town. I don't know why they would actually make you drive into town to get that leash. So maybe we'll save that for the next episode. Because that is something I'd like to try during the live stream. So we'll go over and check on the calves. But we're not going to move them out into the pasture on this one. Try to save that for the next episode. Let's turn off the mixer wagon. It's really bogging down to 8,400. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll have to go into town to get that, and then we'll have to do that next episode. Even if we move ahead to like March, we're still going to keep them cows over in the calf barn for a couple episodes, get our money's worth out of that, right? Okay. Let's get backed up here. So we can put this mixed ration down pretty evenly. Alright. And there we go. Let's get it down. Get the big guys fed. Alright, so we are empty there. And they got, let's see, food, 45,000 liters. So yeah, you're going to be good for a little bit. How you doing there, buddy? Big guy there, give him a pat on the back. Alright. Let's go check him out here. I do actually think, now you could probably call me crazy, but I do think these cows visually changed since the calves were born. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, they do look like they are ready to produce some milk. As ridiculous as that sounds. Alright, let's get back in the John Deere. We'll take this over and park it in the barn. Probably just an easier path going this way. Kind of wondering if the cows actually produce more milk on average after they give birth to the calves. That's probably not the case, but I'm just wondering if that does happen. We'll get the John Deere parked in here. Then we're going to go over to the calf barn here and take a look at them. We're just going to get this parked in the barn for now. That's shut down. Everything's good there. Alright, let's go back over here to the horse barn. I'm gonna grab one of the horses to take a ride over here to the calf barn. I am looking for Craig. Craig, where are you, buddy? Craig the horse. There he is. Gotta go get him. Give Craig a ride here today. Gonna pull him away from just grazing out in the pasture. Alright, buddy, let me throw the saddle on you. Alright, time to throw a leg up over you. Get saddled up. And we'll take a ride over with Craig. Let him stretch the legs a little bit. Yeah, Craig deserves it. He's kind of been an unsung hero to the farm. He's rarely seen, but yeah, we love him. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, he looks good too. It's a nice horse. Closed up. Take a nice little canter over here with Craig. Open it up a little bit. Get a little bit of a gallop now. And actually, that reminds me. Let's take this route, since I actually did do this. I never did it live, but I actually did make a horse trail on this map. And we're going to go on it right now, because I did make a custom farm here on Alma, so yeah. I actually made a forest area with a whole horse trail on it. Maybe we'll hit that trail up during this episode right now. This is one part of it. We'll hit this little section, then we'll go over and see the calves. And there's actually a section right behind the cow barn. This is something I made when I first made the map, and yeah, I rarely show it. But yeah, if you guys are interested, you like the horses in the game, and I made a little riding trail. Admittedly, I have not used it lately. Get a close up here. Got some new horseshoes on Craig. Good fit for him. I probably should have a long sleeve on in the game. I'm still rocking the t-shirt. How you doing, Smiley Farm? Welcome back. Appreciate you stopping by. We're just going on a little trail ride right now with the horse. We're going to go over to the calf barn. This is just one spot of it. We're actually going to hit the rest of the trail in a little bit. I made a whole trail through the front wooded area that I made, and then there's one behind the calf barn. So we'll go see how the calves are doing, and then we'll pick up the other part of this trail. There's the baby calves. How you doing, guys? They are looking good in there. Let's dismount the big guy. Tie Craig off here. So yeah, the calves are doing good. We got 100% health. 18,000 liters of TMR. And they're just chilling out in there. We're just observing them, making sure they're healthy. And we're going to be getting them back to the main cow barn eventually in a couple episodes. Once we simulate ahead, we'll end up doing that. This is the pasture over here. Let's hop on Craig and get him going again. So yeah, it's two separate things. We got the cow barn and then this pasture. I made it look like it's connected, but it is technically its whole thing. So yeah, if I had the leash right now, I would have put a couple of the calves out here. Unfortunately, the leash does not go directly into your tools. It is at the store in town, which kind of just, I can't believe that. So yeah, we got a little pasture for them. We're going to move them out to that pasture in an upcoming episode. Once I get the leash mod. Once I get my hands on it. Because we have already bought it. And let's go pick up the other part of this trail. I have a piece of the trail right here. Yeah, I might as well hit the horse trail. I've never done this on a live stream. Craig loves his trail rides, don't you? Getting some visible mud there on you. We'll get you cleaned up when we get you back. And we get you back to the corral. I did saw some of them trees down. As you can see, that one there I took off right at the bottom of the trunk. I kept getting hung up on it when I was coming through here. Just like the old days, the Wild West. There's a couple more trees that I did chop down. Yeah, there I just got hung up. Actually, I got hung up on the fence there. Giddy up, Craig, let's go. As we do got another part of this trail we want to pick up when we get out of here. So yeah, see, it brings you all the way around and right back at the top of the calf barn. I'm actually running the trail backwards right now from the way I originally made it, so bear with me. We're going to have to go out onto the main road and head down and pick up the rest of this trail. The main trail comes out right here. And as I said before, I did make this trail myself. This is Alma, Missouri. Just thought it'd be fun. I never seen anybody do that before. Probably has been done, but I thought, you know what? That would be pretty cool. So I did go through the trouble of doing it. We are still on the trail. As you can see on the ground, I've marked the trail out with a dirt path. We'll go across the dry creek bed up into the main section of the trail. This was actually the second part of the trail I made when I was doing it. I actually started with that one other part over there, not the one behind the calf barn, but the first one we went through. That was where I got the idea, and I did put a bench there. So me and Craig can take a little break here. Take a little seat, just admire how things are going. Actually, you know what? Let's brush you up out here. Or can't you do that when you're... You can't do that unless you're in the stable, can you? Alright, put that away. You can only brush them when they're in the stable. That's... I didn't know that. Craig wants to pick up the pace here a little bit. Slow down. This was a interesting thing to do. I had to map out this whole section, and what I did was I ended up making the trail first, and then I put the trees in second, which if you ever went into editing this game, there's a lot of weird things that happen with the bushes and the trees when you're trying to use the paint to paint the ground. It will delete stuff. So yeah, I did add another bench there. It was a journey. It took me a while to create this horse trail. Just going for a little trail ride with Craig. We do got horses, so they need a good workout once in a while. There's one thing I don't know. Like, the riding is 100% for Craig right now, but the fitness, I'm not sure what gets that fitness number up. It seems like all the horses are currently at 0%. Zoom way up here. An overhead shot. Got a drone following us. Yeah, the fitness. I'm not sure how to get the fitness up for the horse. So yeah, this brings us out right in front of the farm. It's like the main road out there. And I made this whole tree line. It wasn't here originally. So yeah, I did put a lot of work into this farm. Went in and built my own custom farm in the spot of the main farm here on Alma. And I think we're in episode 24 right now, so we're just moving along. We've got a lot of work yet to do on this farm. A little bit of an open lane there to open it up. Yeah, it brings you right back out here by the cows. And that was the trail ride. I didn't really plan on doing that, but I figured, you know, might as well. We're on the horse, let's do it. Go up here and look at the dairy cows quick. Yeah, that's probably what it is. So I don't ride them daily. That's pretty tough to do that every day of the month. But, yeah, the riding's a little bit easier to do to 100%. That's probably why the fitness is low. I don't do that daily. And we're just overlooking the dairy cows right now. They're really doing good. Alright, Craig, let's get you back to the corral. When Craig wants to go, Craig wants to go. Oh, we'll get them back in the corral here. Yeah, we got the cows fed. Yeah, I do think that's a good point. I think, yeah, if you're looking to sell the horses, that's definitely something you're going to want to keep up, is the fitness and all that. We'll go in here quick and we'll look at the horses so we can take a look exactly what I'm talking about. The horses, so yeah, 100% health. See, the fitness, yeah, the fitness is 0% for Rusty. Looking at Rusty. Yeah, it doesn't show Craig because Craig's not currently in there. Actually, let's get Craig in there because I'm wondering if his fitness just went up. No, it doesn't. It still says 0%. Let's get him in here, though, so we can have all the horses. Alright, where did Craig go? Where are you, Craig? I would have liked to give you a... Ah, he's way over there. Alright, let's close the door. There's Rocky. let's go back in here quick. Let's look at Craig. So yeah, his fitness is still at 0, but I'm assuming if I would keep riding him, that probably would go up. Well, cleanliness, that's 0% right now because we just came off that trail ride. But yeah, health is 100%, which that is good. And you see, yeah, Rusty and Rocky, they both have their cleanliness to 100%. And they're looking good. Open this fence quick. I'm going to head out. Alright, well, I think we got everything done in today's episode. The horses are doing fine. The calves are settled in. And the dairy cows continue to produce. As we're just trying to pay back this $1 million loan, that's the venture we're on now. And also coming up, we are going to be diving into some potatoes. We're going to be diving into a pile of potatoes. We're going to be looking into buying some equipment. Actually, you know what? Before we leave this episode, let's go in and talk about some equipment. So let's see, potato technology. Yeah, we're not going to be buying this. This here is a $600,000 machine, and it is absolutely huge. As much as I'd like to have that, that's a little too much for our farm. This is probably, oh, this is $200,000. I didn't think this was that expensive. That's $190. So yeah, one of these two, 200 horsepower it requires. You would hook the tractor up to that and harvest. This actually, when you open this harvester, it does have an offset to it when it opens up. And that's where the potatoes go in right there. So yeah, that's probably the one we're going to get. Let's look at this in quick. Very similar. What's the working with? 1.5 meters. And this is 1.5 meters. Alright, so yeah, probably this one just because I like the looks of it. And here's the tractor, I think. I'd like to get to go with it. Is it in small tractors or medium? Must be in medium. Let's see. Must be in small tractors. There it is. The old International 1255 XL. Let's see, though, what you can do to the horsepower of this. So, stock, it's 125, 145. You can't make that. Yeah, you can't make this tractor go up to 200 horsepower. So, yeah, we're going to have to rule that out for the potato harvester, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, we could use the John Deere 8400. It'd make the most sense, really, since we already have it on the farm. But I do want to mess around with our tractor. And yeah, these tractor here, I think this is going to be underpowered. Yeah, that's only 90 horsepower. I know this one's way under. This is one of my favorite tractors in the game. Let's see if we can make this 90 horsepower to 690. So yeah, none of them are going to be good enough for potato harvesting, and it'd really be too much. Let's look at the potato planters. Must have went by that already. Potato planters. We're probably going to get a smaller one. 150 horsepower, 165, 170. So 170. Wonder what tractors we have on the farm that we could use with that. Let's look at our vehicles. Obviously, that's too big of a tractor. This in here, 300. Yeah, we could probably plant potatoes with the 1206. I think that will work. So yeah, we can use the International 12. That's 300 horsepower. I don't think that's going to pull that harvester, though. I know the harvester requires 200 horsepower, but this is what I was talking about earlier. For some reason with the 1206, wherever that is, that's over here. The 1206 it will hook up the things, but it seems like the PTO on this, it's an old school tractor, so it doesn't fit up right to some of the equipment with the hitch on the back. I'll have to check that off screen. If we can use, I doubt that's going to pull that harvester. I'd be really shocked if it does. Might have to try that off screen, but anyways, that's just the idea for now. So we are going to wrap this episode up right here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been Alma, Missouri, the Big Country Series at Bone Dry Farms. Until next time, I appreciate you guys, I really do, and I will see you next time on the farm.